Are you feeling stuck in your business, professional or personal life? Or are you struggling to find purpose and direction? Imagine having a clear sense of direction, achieving your goals, and living a fulfilling life. Joy Onyeso Coaching Consult is here to help you. We will work with you to identify your strengths, overcome obstacles, and develop a personalized plan to achieve your dreams. With our coaching and consulting services, you will gain clarity, confidence, and the tools you need to succeed. Do not let fear, lack of clarity, or doubt hold you back any longer. Take the first step towards achieving your goals and living your best life. Contact Joy Onyeso Coaching Consult today. Joy Onyeso Coaching Consult, empowering you to reach your full potential. Call, SMS, or WhatsApp +234 704 229 1171. Or you can visit our website www.joyoyesocoachingconsult.com.
Hi, hello, and welcome to another exciting Hangout. I'm just excited to welcome us in. This is Friday. I've been looking forward to Friday. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to be here tonight to hang out with you. And tonight we're going to be having a conversation on something very interesting, because we are all going through that, or we have gone through that. And I always like to know how your week has been. I can share mine with you. I always would love to hear how your week has been. So use the comment section and let me know how the week has been for you, especially today. How has it been going for you? Hashtag TGIF, hashtag Joy Onyeso. Just let's know how it's been with you. And while you're at it, don't forget that we have a special channel on YouTube called Friday Night Hangout. So if you've missed previous episodes, you want to catch up on previous episodes, then you want to go to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and of course, you always be notified when we are going live. So tonight, we're going to be talking about embracing change and transformation. This is one topic that is very, very apt, especially if you're living in Nigeria. There's a lot of changes happening here and there. In fact, just before coming on this show, I was discussing with one of my team members on the current taxation policies, right? The tax policies, and, how the impact it has on us, even, the what do we call it now? The savings that people make in the bank, and even the fixed deposits you make, and all of that. There are a number of things that we should know as we get ready to move into 2026. So it's just a lot of things happening, just happening so quickly. But that's okay. That's not enough reason to get, overwhelmed, So tonight we're going to have that conversation on how can we embrace change? How can we thrive even in the midst of everything that is happening? So one thing I want you to know is that you've got this, and no matter what happens, you keep showing up, you keep succeeding, you keep thriving. Now, does it mean that you're not going to go through challenges? You're not going to encounter obstacles? No, all of this are going to happen. It's not a walk in the park. But what we do know is, first we need to prepare our mindset, and then we'll now walk through this. So I hope that if you stay with me to the end of this program, you would have one or two nuggets that you can implement right away. Now, before we even go into talking about how to embrace change, I want us to even look at what it is that makes us resist change at all. And that is across levels, even in the office. When something you're used to coming in by maybe 8 a.m., and then when you come in, you settle in, and all of a sudden they say, okay, no, the new policy is going to be that you come in by 8:30, you have to go to the next office, maybe clock in or maybe do one thing, the first thing that comes to your mind is to resist. It's just the sporadic thoughts. You just want to, why? You're unsettled. Why this change? This is how we've been doing it. And it's the same thing with individuals, with your character. So someone is saying, oh, my dear, one or two things I think you need to work on. I said, no, but that's how I am, You just pick to defend what has been. Why is that? Why we're quick to defend what has been is one, we're comfortable. That's our comfort zone. That is what we have known. So perhaps we've been doing this for 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 10 years, 15 years. The longer you've been practicing that habit, or the longer you've had that routine or pattern, the more the likelihood of you resisting any change to that. So I want you to know that. So it's normal. It's okay. It happens. But what we're saying is, how then do we change our mindset to embrace change when it comes? And what are some of the strategies that we can use in embracing that change when it comes? And the first is to really understand the psychology of change. So one of the things I mentioned is comfort zone. We are used to comfort zones. So you built a routine, you built a pattern, you don't want it to change. The other one is uncertainty. No one wants to do anything they are not certain of. You don't even know what the outcome will be. You don't know how it will turn out. But this thing you're sure of because you've done it day in, day out, year in, year out, and you're certain of the results you get. You're certain of how it turns out for you. Now, whether it's positive or negative, another conversation. But the thing is, you already know. So there is no uncertainty with it. So one of the things why we resist change is because it's the uncertainty that comes with it. The other factor could be from past experiences, right? You have done something different and you got a not too pleasant result. Is it that you got a traumatic response or something, you had a loss or whatever? You will say, you know what? No, let me just stay with this one that I know. And it's the same thing even with business owners. So when they say, listen, there are alternatives of doing this way. You don't have one single way of getting to Jerusalem. There are alternative routes, right? And you say, you know what, I'm not willing to try. I don't want to experiment. Leave it for me. Let me stay with this. Remember when we started with ATM cards, online banking? A lot of the old-timers refused to do online banking, refused to get ATM card because it's something new and it came with a lot of risk. It was outside their comfort zone. And, of course, even till tomorrow, we know that there are risks with online banking and with using ATM card. But, when you look at the pros and the cons, the positive aspect of the ease, the comfort of running your financial portfolio from the comfort of your space, it's there. You can't even discount that, right? And so, there would always be things that would not work well, but you need to look at the advantages. So if you've had past experiences that are not so pleasant, that shouldn't make you shut down. But that's, we're talking about the psychology of change, right? And so that's some of the things that you would see. Now, for some of us, it may not be any of these things, but it may be that thing of control. You want to be in charge of how things are going. And so when you're changing the process, when you're changing the system, or when you're going into a new endeavor, you have no control and you're not comfortable with that. So rather than going to that, you will resist anything that will bring that foreign environment or foreign system or something different, because you have no control. You don't have a control about that. Or even when you don't register for conferences or workshops because you have no control. You will go there, you meet people you do not know, you don't have a control of how it will turn out, and so you are not comfortable with that at all. So you will resist change as it happens. And if you're a business owner, you want to stay, you want to keep to what you know, right? You don't want to experiment. You said, this is my hard-earned money. Nah, I don't want to experiment. And they're telling you, listen, there are better ways of this. Say, you know what? Keep your better ways. I would rather stay small and do it in this aspect. Of course, you can't upscale. You can't say, no, don't worry. I just want to stay here. Why? No control. So we need to start, understanding the root of all of these things, because you can't talk about embracing change without understanding the root cause of some of the resistance that sometimes we have consciously and other times unconsciously. So these are things we were going to talk about tonight. So this is not all of it. Welcome, Princess. Welcome, Divine, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining in. I see you, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm so excited to have you here. And we're having a conversation on embracing change and transformation. Now, you know, one thing why about change, why we need to have this conversation is the only constant thing in life is what? Change. So whether you like it or not, change will happen. You have no control over that. So if we do know that change will definitely happen, why then won't we prepare ourselves to embrace it as it comes and position ourselves in such a way that no matter how the change moves us, we're able to stay anchored, right? That even if we go through some turbulence, that's to be expected, but it's not going to sweep us off. And that's the core of the conversation that we're having tonight. Now that we've talked about the psychology of change, let's look at, some of the changes that we may experience. Yeah, what are some of the changes? And I want you to use the comment section. I just put that in. Like, what are some of the changes that you've experienced in recent times, or you think, people are going through? One, you look at how the economy is today. So some of us may have to cut down on our spending habits. Some of us may have to change our lifestyle to suit, the growing inflation and all of that. And then some of us may even have to relocate. That's change. And when you look at the Japa movement, you're moving from a known place to somewhere different. That's a lot of change. And let me share a quick story with you. I recall when my daughter got admission to study in Canada and she had to go into university. And first of all, that was the first time she's leaving home. She's going to stay alone without anyone. That's it's not just a change, it's a huge change. So from my part, as a mom and as a parent, I was so worried. And sometimes I was even crying because I was like, hey, how will my daughter survive alone in a foreign land without anyone? I had that anxiety. So one of the things I did was to say, okay, you know what? I would travel with her, and then I will make plans to spend some weeks with her to help her settle in, to get her to, culturalize with whatever is happening. Let's see how we can reduce the cultural clash. It was a lot of learning because though that wasn't her first visit to Canada, but it wasn't as bad as we expected. It wasn't so terrible. I recall she would say, I kept saying, I said, "This, are you sure?" You said, "Oh, mom, you worry too much. I'm going to be fine." And right before me, I saw her getting used to things. She would tell you, "Oh, mom, I'm busy. I can't come to see the hotel. I have to go." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so why did I even come now when you can just, settle in that fast?" And what am I trying to draw from this story? I'm just trying to let us know that, fear is valid, but the fear may not even happen, or not even in the dimension you think it will happen. But preparation is key. Getting prepared for whatever change may come. And how do you get prepared? One, having an open mindset. Having an open mindset that change will always happen. You're not in control of the change. Your change can happen at the personal level. It can happen at the professional level. It can even happen business-wise. So you need to build in what we call the resilience factor in your life, in your business, and all of that. Now, let's start from the professional angle. What are some of the resilience factors you can build in? Now, we do know that there's a whole lot of conversation on AI, and technology is at its peak right now. It's very difficult to find a business or any sector that cannot apply technology. So when you know this, why then do you want to be old school? You want to remain relevant in your sector. So one of the things you can do to build resilience and to make sure you stay relevant is to upskill. Upskill. So when I see people these days who do not know how to use a computer, you can't use a laptop, you can't use a desktop, you cannot log into an email, you do not, my dear, then you need to upskill. You just need, and I'm really talking to those even in my age bracket. They say, oh, I'm too old. You're not. It's never too late to learn. So start learning new things, start learning new skills that can make you relevant in your profession. Now, business-wise, this is the time where we look at working more efficiently, reducing expenses while optimizing resources. And that's what makes you a good manager. So beyond being a CEO, that's a title. But beyond the title, there are skill sets that are required to make sure that your business can stay relevant, your business can stay profitable. And so one of the things you would like to do as a business owner is to look at your wheel of income. I would usually have this conversation. Excuse me. I'll usually have this conversation with my team. So what are our wheels of income, right? And I don't want you to go anywhere. Stay with me. Right after this, we'll be coming back and we'll be looking at how can we manage change at a business level and also at an individual level. Okay? So stay right with me while we take this.
Joy and myself, we're having a year-end workshop. We call it a strategy workshop, where we are going to take time to understand ourselves. The workshop is in three parts. The first part is reflection. You're going to take time to reflect on your journey. How has community been helpful to me in this year? Which community has benefited me the most? So you're going to evaluate yourself in terms of your own personal journey, in terms of working with people, in terms of just personal reflection in various areas, how this year has been. And then after you do the personal reflection, we're also going to help you take some personal assessment where you'll be able to understand yourself better. So they're also going to be like personal assessment that you will take. And then we also have as a bonus the Maxwell Leadership this assessment. That one will give you a 30 or 30 page report about yourself. In fact, a lot of people when they do that assessment and they get the report, they say it's like, has somebody been stalking me? Because it will tell you a lot of things about yourself, your strengths, your leadership qualities, areas that you can still grow, areas that you can harness on knowing that this is an area that I'm strong in. And then doing all these things help you to understand yourself, that when I'm joining a community, I know what I'm bringing to the table. And then the top part of this workshop we are having is strategic planning into 2026. Because I believe that each year should be better. You should be a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today. There's a quote that says, if you will not be better today than you were yesterday, or if you not be better tomorrow than you are today, what do you need tomorrow for? You don't need tomorrow if you're not going to be better tomorrow. So if you don't need 2026 if you are not going to be a better version of yourself. So the third part of the workshop is to help you strategically plan, so that as I move into 2026, how can I maximize the value of collaboration? Because that is one thing about community. You can collaborate with other people, just like Professor Joy and myself are collaborating now in different ways. How can I grow myself? In what ways? Having known my strengths, having known how I performed this year, how can I take it to another level? So that is what the workshop is about. And the good thing is that you can join in person. It's going to be taking place in the United Kingdom, in Reading, at the Hilton Hotel. But we're also making provision for people to join us virtually. So if you cannot be here in person, you can also join us virtually and you will get the maximum benefit from it. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. And that's the repositioning strategy workshop. Listen, you don't want to miss that workshop. My sister Ayom said, it's both virtual and in person. And if you want to join virtually, we're going to put the link there. It's almost what we're talking about now. This is just a segment of that full day workshop. So how to reposition yourself, getting strategy for 2026. It's not what you want to miss. We're going to have an in-depth conversation, and of course you're going to work out with a blueprint of how to run with your 2026. It's not floppy things. These are grounded, anchored conversation and sessions. You're going to even have opportunities for conducting a personal assessment, so you know who you are really. And one of the tips for embracing change is to know yourself. So I will come much later to that. Now, before we took that break, I was talking about preparing your business for change. Since we do know that change is going to happen, so why don't you prepare your business for change? And one of the ways for preparing your business for change is to understand the wheels of income. Every business exists to make profit or to give value. So if you're a not-for-profit business, it means that you exist, maybe not to get income, but at least to give value and to create an impact. And then if you're for a profit business, it means that primarily while giving value, you want to make some profit, you intend to earn income. And that's why you need to be very careful and intentional in all of this, knowing that change is going to happen. So ask yourself, what are the wheels of income that we have as a business? And when things start happening, knowing that the policy environment is going to change, the business ecosystem is going to change, because life is evolving. It's very dynamic, right? And you don't have control over that. So things are going to happen. One of the ways of, embracing change is by positioning your business. And always, reviewing. Have that habit of reviewing your business. When you have that habit of reviewing your business on a quarterly basis, on a biannual basis, make sure you have time to review your business. Now we are moving towards the end of the year. This is a good time to start that reflection, right? And that's why this workshop is also very important. You review your business to know the goals you set for yourself at the beginning of the year. What has happened to it? Have you achieved it, or are you lagging behind? And if so, what are the reasons? What are some of the lessons you've learned? And what are some of the lessons you want to leverage for the coming year? Now, whenever you meet obstacles or challenges, it's also an opportunity to learn. That's one way for building resilience and embracing change. You have to learn, have a growth mindset, open up your mind. You don't want to rule out the place of a support network. It's not just for individuals, even as a business. You must be in competition with everyone. There are people in your line of business who have gone ahead of you. And it's an error to be competing with those you should be learning from. And this is a sad mistake I see a number of us make. So because you feel that we're in the same area of business or in the same line of business, you feel you have nothing to learn, I'm your competitor, so you cannot rub minds with me. No, we can do a whole lot of stuff, because each business you see is unique. Every business is unique. You have your unique factor, your unique value proposition that should differentiate you from the next business. So, and there are businesses that you should not be competing with. Look at those businesses, understand how they've grown to that height, and then you can now take some lessons, adapt those lessons, and then run with those lessons. Very important. That's something you want to do. Very, very important, right? This is one way also of embracing change, right? Network, having an open mindset, review your goals. So when things begin to change, when times are changing, policies are changing, business ecosystem is changing, I want you to take time to sit back and ask yourself, so what impact would this have on my business as a business owner? I remember when I first came across, when the government, the federal government, passed the new tax laws, which will take effect in January 1st, right? From January 1st, 2026, we'll start the new tax laws. The first thing I did was to send a message, WhatsApp message to my auditor to say, what's the impact on my business? And that's how I am. Like, when I see certain things, I'd like to be very strategic. I said, so what's the impact? What do I need to know? And the good thing, let me tell you something good. I'm going to bring in here. So if you're a business owner and you want to know how to get your business prepared for 2026, in line with this new tax laws, listen, whether you're an online vendor, you're impacted. With these new tax laws, online vendors, everyone is impacted. So you need to know your role and you need to know how to position yourself. Ignorance is not an excuse. So get ready. I'm going to bring him on board, and I'm looking at maybe the last week of November. I'll bring him on board, and you can come with your questions on the new tax laws. We'll be here to explain what it means. So all these careless financial transactions, my dear, it has to stop. Everything needs to be very specific. Let me not even go into that. That's a conversation for another day. But get ready. I always like bringing solutions. I'm going to bring him on board, and we're going to have that conversation. So get ready, and you don't want to miss that particular session. So as a business owner, get prepared. There's no one way to achieving anything. As an individual, when things change, instead of feeling overwhelmed, what are some strategies that we can take? Both as a business, as a professional, or as just an individual, right? The first thing I want to say is, when things happen, when changes happen, when you're in transition, Instead of just rushing in to resist or rushing in to accept, spend some time to reflect and review. Ask yourself, what is the impact of this change on my life, on my business, on my network? You need to have an understanding first. So understanding is key. When Habakkuk 2:2 says, write down the vision so whoever reads it may run with it. Clarity. So, I love to talk about clarity. Understand what that change entails for you, your business. So once you have a deep understanding, then the next thing is to come up with your strategy. So what is my next move? You need to be intentional about your next move, right? One way of doing that is by having an open mind. That's a strategy by itself. Having an open mind is, okay, I'm going to review all. I'm going to look at alternatives. I'm not going to box myself into this is how I've been doing it, or this is the way I know, and this is what it has been. Things change. Things evolve. Better solutions are out there in the horizon. But you need to give yourself the permission to look for them, to seek them, and to do them. Even for myself, my business, I'm actually writing out some of the new tools that we need to engage for 2026. And we're going to spend time learning how to even use them. So open your mind to the growth, knowing that in every change, there are opportunities for growth. It's an opportunity to do things better, to be more efficient. So instead of resisting, it can make you a better individual. It can make you a better, formidable business. It can make you a better career person. So don't just run away from it or resist it. Look at the opportunities that are inherent in every change. Then the next strategy I would like to put out is, change can come with a sense of overwhelm. One of the things I found very helpful is to unpack. Oftentimes, when we talk about unpack, we call it the divide and conquer strategy. Yeah? So what does this simply mean? You look at the change as a whole, it can get overwhelming. Why don't you unpack it? Why don't you take it in bits? Take it in bits. Take it in bits. You mustn't understand the whole spectrum. So it's okay to understand right now what the implications are, what the impacts are, and then open your mind to learn as you move along. Learn as you move along. Thank you so much, my sister Ugo. She says collaboration, not competition. That's it. That's very true, right? Now, you need to learn as you move along. So have that learning mindset that, listen, this is change. I do not understand the full spectrum of this change, but I'm willing to learn. So that comes with an element of making mistakes. So when you feel too big or you have too much ego, you don't want to make mistakes, my dear, you will remain stunted. You won't embrace change, you won't embrace growth. So be willing to make those mistakes, but most importantly, learn from the mistakes, right? And then journal. What is the essence of doing everything you do when you don't document? You want to document your process. Your process is as important as the result. So document the process. Document what it entails for you, your business. If you're a professional, what has it been like? What did it look like? What did it feel like? Get very specific. Document. And you'll be surprised that when you come back and you're going through, you would even get more rema, more knowledge. Just say, wow. And you'll be amazed at the opportunities that this presents for you. So, what are we saying? What I'm saying tonight is open up your mind to change. The most certain thing in life is change. So whether we like it or not, change will happen. That you see tomorrow is a change. I hope you know that. So seeing tomorrow is a change. So don't even overthink it. Sometimes it's just that we overthink it. So practice gratitude. What are you grateful for in this moment? I'm grateful for the fact that I can reflect. I'm grateful for the fact that I have formidable team, skilled team members that can support. I'm grateful for the fact that I have an open mindset. I'm willing to learn. I'm grateful for the fact that there is technology. I'm grateful for the fact that I have others who have gone before me. They are forerunners in this business I'm doing, right? And so in every change, there is opportunity for growth. If there is nothing else you take away from this conversation, just take that away with you, that in every change, there's opportunity for growth. So open your mind to that opportunity for growth and embrace change. And it comes. Even for those going through marital crisis, and then at the end of the day, both parties decide, we want to separate or we want to divorce. I know it comes a lot of overwhelm because now from being a couple, you're now single. Don't get swallowed in it. There is opportunity for growth. There's opportunity for growth there. You will now learn. It's an opportunity for you to get to relearn yourself, get to rediscover who you are in this new season. It's an opportunity for you to get to try things you're not able to do as a couple now that you're alone. So look for the positive things in everything. What we're saying tonight is, in every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. And not every change is negative. So not every change is negative. So if it's a negative change or a positive change, just know that it's an opportunity for growth and run with what you know. There would always be something you do know. There will always be something that is certain, even in that change, that you can have in your hands and you can run with. There's always something in your hands. So the second thing is always know that there's always something in your hands. There's always something in your business that you can navigate, that you can pivot and, run with a new situation. So before I leave you tonight, I want to ask you, what is that situation you're going through? What is that change that is before you, you've been running away from, or that you didn't even expect and you're inside of it now? What commitments are you making to yourself as a result of these conversations we have tonight? I would always say write it down. When you write it down, it becomes very clear and then you can run with it. So write it down and share with me next week, some of the highlights for you. And don't forget to use the comment section. We want to know how it has been for you. This is a learning space. I want to learn as well. And members of the tribe want to learn, how have you been able to navigate change? How have you embraced change? Please do share with us. And don't forget to smell the roses. It's Friday. Smell the roses. And please be kind to yourself. Be gentle on yourself. There's a lot happening there. And you need to love yourself. Be kind to yourself. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Friday. From my team and myself, and from the Friday Night Hangout studio, it's bye for now. And we look forward to seeing you next week, Friday. Don't forget to use the comment section. Tell us how you've been able to embrace change.
My name is Ozil Demezu. Rediscover and Thrive Retreat. What do I love about the retreat? I love the setting. I love the fact that it's out of town. It's out of my comfort zone. It's out of where I am used to. And I love the serene environment. It's not a hotel. It felt like being in my own home. And then the togetherness, being able to be together in the same space, and then the fact that it was a safe space where I could share my mind. I love that.
Are you feeling stuck in your business, professional or personal life? Or are you struggling to find purpose and direction? Imagine having a clear sense of direction, achieving your goals, and living a fulfilling life. Joy Onyeso Coaching Consult is here to help you. We will work with you to identify your strengths, overcome obstacles, and develop a personalized plan to achieve your dreams. With our coaching and consulting services, you will gain clarity, confidence, and the tools you need to succeed. Do not let fear, lack of clarity, or doubt hold you back any longer. Take the first step towards achieving your goals and living your best life. Contact Joy Onyeso Coaching Consult today. Joy Onyeso Coaching Consult, empowering you to reach your full potential. Call, SMS, or WhatsApp +234 704 229 1171, or you can visit our website www.joyoyesocoachingconsult.com.